and it actually hasn't worked. And you know why it hasn't? Because I actually saved this event to do live on this video, but then I didn't do it live. I didn't end up saving. So let me just flick back and actually go do what I needed to do. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video today. What we're going to be doing in this video is setting up cross-domain tracking between your website and TicketLeap. Now, this is important because standard integration between Google Analytics on your website and TicketLeap won't be tracking the full information and the full data that's going to really make a difference in your event advertising and in your digital marketing for the event. So what I mean by that is, with the standard integration, you're not able to track where someone originally comes from before visiting your website. That information isn't tracked between the source, your website, and then TicketLeap. What often happens is you'll be checking your Google Analytics data reports, and you might see that your website is actually referring 80 to 90% of your ticket purchases, when that's not really the case. Your attendees are somewhere else before visiting your website, and because of the standard integration, Google Analytics is not able to track from the website to TicketLeap and ultimately to a conversion, a purchase. Now, this is important when you're running online advertising for your event, or when you want to know a little bit more data, a little bit more in depth about what's happening with your event marketing. So you might have a specific radio ad or TV commercial where people are told to go to your website, youreventwebsite.com/TV or maybe a local news channel or local radio station. And by being able to set up cross-domain tracking, you're able to see which of those marketing efforts have gotten people to your website, and then which of those people have gotten onto the TicketLeap page and ultimately bought a ticket there. So this was really helpful for us when we're running Facebook and Google advertising for events using TicketLeap. This way we can tell which of our marketing efforts have ultimately resulted in a purchase through Google Analytics. Now, you can do that with Facebook Pixel or your other conversion pixels. Sometimes it's really good to have all the data within Google Analytics so you can see it in one place. Okay, so let's dive into it. Now, you're going to need a couple of accounts. First of all, you're going to need your Google Analytics account open. You're going to need your website open, your TicketLeap account open as well, along with setting up, if you haven't already, a Google Tag Manager account. And that's how we set up the data transfer. Now, Google Tag Manager is very easy to get started with, and the integration is very simple, so let's jump into it. So you're going to start by heading to tagmanager.google.com. And if you don't have one set up already, you're going to be prompted to create an account. So Google will link it to your current Gmail account. If you have one already, you're going to end up in the default workspace. So no matter if you have a Google Tag Manager account or not, what you want to do is head to the admin section, and I'm pretty sure it'll pull it up itself if you just created it. And you're going to head to this Install Google Tag Manager spot, and this is where you find your code. Okay, so these two bits of code are what we're going to install on the website as well as your TicketLeap page. So we're going to copy. You can click copy over on this right hand side. You're going to click copy, and you're going to head into your TicketLeap page. You're going to go into the backend, into settings, and then analytics. Cool. So from here, you're going to scroll down, and so I already have this installed anyway. You want to find the create a code snippet spot, and you're going to install this. Awesome. You're going to select include snippet on all buyer facing pages, and then you're going to hit save. Okay, so you're going to do that. Now we're going to go back and get that second bit of code. So on your website, you'll want to split these codes up, but unfortunately we're unable to do that with TicketLeap. So again, you're going to copy that code and head back to TicketLeap and paste it again down there, and select the same thing, include snippet on all buyer facing pages. Great, and we're going to hit save. So once you save that, it's going to take around a day, I've found, for TicketLeap to actually approve that bit of code. So we will do some testing later on. However, you'll probably need to watch this and then come back. It'll probably be best to come back tomorrow once your code has been approved and installed on your website. Cool, so next step we're going to do is you're going to you're going to install both these codes on the back end of your website. Now, the installation process for that is going to be dependent on who you use for your website, whether that's WordPress, Squarespace, if you're using Wix, or any other options out there. So the only thing I can say for this step is to just do a Google search. So go out and see how to install on a WordPress site into the header code or onto the body tag. So this video is probably going to run a little bit too long if I go through how to install this code on every single different web platform. So if you can't find how to install it into your specific website, then leave a comment below and I'll be able to help out. We can go back and forth on the best way for you to do that. Now, while we're also in the back end of TicketLeap, there's one really important step that you need to make sure that you complete, and that's removing the Google Analytics ID if you already have it there. So we have this ID already in this spot. We're going to actually delete that. We're going to delete that and then come down and save that backend. Now, the reason why this is important not to have the Google Analytics ID here is because we're going to actually install it within Google Tag Manager in a certain way that allows us to track the data. So if you have any Google Analytics codes here that are the same as the one you're about to install via Google Tag Manager, the cross-domain tracking isn't going to work. Awesome. So now we're going to dive into the actual install. So go back to the workspace on Google Tag Manager and we're going to go into variables. So this is where we set up Google Analytics. Now we're going to go new variable. We're going to click the little pencil here. We're going to scroll down and select Google Analytics settings. Cool. Now we're going to head over to your Google Analytics account and you want to pull your tracking ID. So how you do that is open up admin, go into the property level, so this middle column here, to tracking info, and you're going to go tracking code. So we're going to grab the tracking code in the top left here and we're going to install it right there. So now we're going to have this Google Analytics code on our TicketLeap and our website. Now you want to make sure this cookie domain is set to auto, and then next is to hit more settings, open fields to set, and you're going to go allow linker, and you're going to set that to true. So this is going to allow us to add on a little bit of data. You're going to scroll down and select cross-domain tracking, and here you're going to put the URLs of the websites you want to link. So you're going to have yourwebsite.com and yourwebsite.ticketleap.com, and then I always go with ticketleap.com as well. So what this does is going to tell Google Tag Manager to put all these websites in here together, treat them as one kind of tracking group, so to speak. So anyone that navigates through these URLs are going to be treated as the same website visitor. Okay, so the last thing we do is name the variable, and how I do that is I just name it the same as the tracking ID. Cool, so then you're going to hit save on the top right. Now you head over into tags on the left hand menu here. You're going to go new tag, and we're going to call this tag GA page view all pages. Gives us a bit of a description of what it is. And we're going to hit this pencil in tag configuration, and we're going to go to Google Analytics, Universal Analytics, and in this drop down menu here you're going to select the settings variable that you just created. So you should be able to see your Analytics ID here. Great, now what you want to do here is make sure that you don't have this first checkbox ticked. If this checkbox is ticked, you're not going to have your cross-domain tracking working. So make sure this is left empty, and you're going to go into this triggering box, and you're going to select all pages. Great. Then you hit save up the top. Awesome. So then you go up to the top right over here, and you're going to call this a descriptive name. So you might say Crossdomain tracking. You don't really need to put a description any further than that. And then you're going to hit publish up in the top right. Cool, now that that's done, there's one last little step we need to do, and that is head back to Google Analytics, and in the same property section in that middle column, you're going to go into the referral exclusion list, and what you're going to do here is click on this red add referral exclusion, and you're going to add your own domain. So you're going to put whatever your website URL is. That way you're not going to be counting traffic. It's just kind of double checking or a safety net that we set up. And then you'll see that here once you hit save on that section. Great, so that's the setup all done and dusted. Now because we're having to wait until TicketLeap approves the tracking code, you might have to come back the next day to do this next step, which is just double checking to make sure that the code is tracking correctly. So bookmark this video, or save it, or do whatever you need to do, but you're probably best to come back tomorrow once that code is confirmed as being installed on TicketLeap. Alright, welcome back. Now, if you head to the back end of your TicketLeap account, you should be able to see the codes that we installed for you yesterday, or whenever it was, and they should be approved. Okay, so if you don't see approved, then you're probably going to have to do it again. You might have done something wrong, or otherwise you're going to see it approved there. So what we need to do next is make sure that the data is being tracked correctly across those domains. So how we do that is with a Google tool called the Campaign URL Builder. So if you just type into Google Campaign URL Builder, it'll bring up this tool, which is at ga-dev-tools.appspot.com/campaign URL Builder. So what we're going to do here is we're going to simulate a test visit to make sure that we're reading it correctly in the back end of analytics. So what you're going to do here is grab your URL first of all, your website URL. So go over and use a URL of ours. Then you're going to insert test. This can really be, these next three pieces can be whatever you want, but I like to just make it super easy and go test, test, test. That's in campaign source, medium, and campaign name. Then you're going to grab this URL here. So you can just copy that, and we're going to go to a incognito window and visit that. Now while that's loading, you're going to go into your Google Analytics and open up the real-time report and go into overview. So what we should see here is one person, and I'm in Brisbane, Australia. So right now there's one person on the website, that being me. Awesome. So we can see that that's where I'm from. So this is easy because we can see that there's only one person on the website and I'm on the website, so it must be me. So what we do is go to traffic sources on this left hand side menu, and we click on either one, either test or medium test or source test, doesn't really matter. Let's go source test, and now we're going to be filtering by only this traffic, or traffic with this source from it. Now if we go over here to content, we can now see what page this person is on. So that's me. Okay, so I'm from test. So think of test as any number of potential traffic sources that you have for your event. So that could be magazine features published in online magazines or newspapers, newsletters. It could be your Google advertising, Facebook advertising, anything on Pinterest, you name it. So the source here is important. So what we want to see is me visiting the website, me searching around the website, and me entering the TicketLeap site and not disappearing here. So let's have a look. So right now I'm on the home page, and we can see that down here. If I go to show features, awesome. So I've loaded this site. I want to see that show up again. Cool, so we're tracking. Let's go to another page just to make sure that everything is working fine. Great. So I'm being tracked correctly on the website. Now comes the test as to whether or not this has worked. And it actually hasn't worked. And you know why it hasn't? Because I actually saved this event to do live on this video, but then I didn't do it live. I didn't end up saving. So let me just flick back and actually go do what I needed to do. So what I need to do again, I can actually just shoot through this pretty quickly now. Okay, now we're back. I've actually submitted it properly now, so that what we're going to see is the URL of on the TicketLeap site plus the ID that is my unique ID that I get assigned, or cookie ID, I guess, that enables us to track from the two different websites. So I've added the number 2 to the back end of this. So let's visit that site again. So if we go over here, same process. We're going to pull up Google Analytics. We're going to clear this test. And we're going to be seeing 2 people now. If we see the traffic sources, we're going to click on test 2. And there's 1 person right now. So there's 1 person on test 2. So if I do the same thing, let's go on the Contact Us page. And I'm on Contact Us. Great. If I go to the home page, it'll pop up in about 2 seconds. 1, 2. That I'm on the home page. There we go. If I go and show information, just want to make sure that we're tracking that correctly. Show details any second now. There we go. Cool. So when I click this tickets button now, what we should see is us head to the TicketLeap page, but then we'll also see the ID at the end of the URL. So that's the allow linker parameter. Here we go. I can see it now. So that's the cookie or the tracking ID that allows us to communicate between those websites. And there we go. So now we're tracking that the same person from test. So I've come from test 2 to the website, and now I'm on TicketLeap.com. So think about this test 2 again as your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your billboard, specific billboard codes, or wherever you're getting certain traffic from. At the moment, you're most likely, and I'm 95 to 99% confident that you're not going to be able to see what the traffic sources are that are driving your actual ticket purchases on TicketLeap. So now you're able to do this. So now if I go back to the page and I go get tickets, so that's on the Feb 28, 2020. So now I'm on this page. So when I purchase a ticket, I'm going to be registered as coming from test 2 via the Crossdomain tracking that we've just set up. So this is really important. So once you have it configured, how we've just done it, you can monitor in the lead up to your events where the most important traffic is coming from. So if you find that one vendor of yours is sending a ton of ticket buyers to you, you may want to reward that person, or you may just want to give them props on social media or whatever you want to do with that. Same thing with any paid advertising. So if you're running Facebook ads, like what we do with a lot of the clients that we work with, we'd like to see within Google Analytics which part of those campaigns is actually driving the ticket sales. Now you might be able to do that already with a Facebook pixel or a Google tracking code on Google Ads, for example. But like I said at the start, it's quite often nice to have everything tracked together in the middle. This is also good for everything that doesn't have those conversion tracking pixels. So I would definitely recommend setting this up. So hopefully this has been really helpful for you guys with your next event. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'm happy to help out in any way, especially with any code installs or anything like that. Otherwise, if you need any help with your Facebook advertising or Google Ads for your events, that's what we do at Ellaw Digital. We like to help cool people run cool events, attracting cool people. So again, best of luck. Thanks for watching, and I hope your event goes really well. Right, cheers.